So today I'm going to do a book talk on this book, Just Under the Clouds, by Melissa Sarno, and this is her debut book. And it's so interesting, actually. Her agent is none other than Newbery winner Rebecca Stead, which she's credited in the back. I always kind of wondered, I haven't seen any books by Rebecca Stead lately. I wonder what she was doing, so that was interesting. And so I think I first learned about this book through Patricia Tilton's Children's Book Heal. And I knew it was about homelessness and poverty, and I'm researching books on that for poverty list for Multicultural Children's Book Day, so I immediately reserved it for my library. And it is just that. It is gritty, realistic fiction. It is beautifully written. The protagonist is a girl, Cora, and her little sister has special needs. She's like a blue baby, like oxygen deprived. Her father has died a few years ago from a heart issue, and her father was like an Irish immigrant, and then her mother's Mexican American, who was an artist, and the mother's just kind of struggling to find them, sort of a permanent place to live. And it's told from the older daughter, Cora's point of view, and what she has from her dad is, because he was like a landscape guy, is sort of his plant diary, or like his log, keeping track of the trees and the plants that he was taking care of, and she's also really into plants and trees and identifying them and learning about them. So that's sort of like a ballast for her to kind of keep connected to her father and just cope with, I think Sarno does such a good job describing just kind of starkly the difficult and dangerous circumstances that she's living in. And what's so interesting too, it's set in Gowanus, which is it's in Brooklyn. It's actually near Park Slope. So, I was thinking Gowanus. I actually went there last week for a book signing event. And so I was in kind of an industrial area that looked a little bit like, sort of like it's about to be gentrified, or it's in a gentrification upswing. And then I stayed at our friend's co-op, which is also, I think, Gowanus, and that was like a really beautiful large brick building near a park, and just like really upscale. So my impression was Gowanus was pretty pricey and nice, but also gentrifying. And so I'm sure this is completely realistic. There's a neighborhood where there's kind of this homeless shelter that they start off in the book living, that I didn't see that area. I didn't see too much of Gowanus. And so I would just say I'm still sort of reading it, so I've sort of read part of it and then flipped to the back and read the middle, so I'm going to read the whole thing start to finish again. But I would say this book is I would give it to like my middle daughter. When she was in middle school, she was a kid who liked realistic fiction that just came from tough circumstances. So books that she liked would be Laurie Halse Anderson, like Speak, those types of books. Also, my daughter liked Linda Mulaney Hunt, One for the Murphys. Just realistic fiction of families going through tough times. That was her jam. And she also liked dystopian, which some ways is not so. It's kind of coping with difficult circumstances. My son, who's in 7th grade, about to go to 8th grade, this would not be the right book for him. He likes more adventure, fantasy, funny. So he would only read this if it was assigned, or if the class read it aloud. But it is a really good book, beautifully written. Really does give you a sense of, just kind of how a family slips into homelessness through no fault of their own. The one thing about, I was reading how the girls are not on free lunch, and it kind of made me a little bit angry, but I know that's also realistic. But it made me angry, come on, Mom, let them have free lunches, let them not be hungry. But I also understand that Mexican American pride of not wanting to take handouts, and so I think it's just very well done, understated, but you can really feel the burden that this little girl carries, just to be in the situation and to be taking care of her little sister who needs a lot of care, and is just trying to be sort of the soldier that just kind of gets through it. to put less burden on her mother. And I mean, you feel that burden as you read the book all the way through. And it makes it a heavy read, it makes it a more difficult read, but it's also what makes the book really powerful. Okay, thank you for listening.